Ravens, Bengals, Raiders, Pro Bowler. And, by the way, not only are his daughters college athletes, but you're a bit of a coach yourself. You should tell the audience you do some coaching.
A little bit. I try to help young receivers get better. That's what I'll say.
And you do. A lot of the elite Southern California wide receivers work with TJ, and you were a great route runner, incredibly coachable, good hands, smart dude, so you're a very good coach. So anybody out there that's got a son that runs a 4.3, T.J.Houshmandzadeh. We were talking about a couple of different things. I want to start with something I haven't talked about in about an hour. I try not to be a homer because I'm from Seattle, but I believe great quarterbacks, Carson Palmer's one of these. Cincinnati was a laughingstock. Carson overcame all their issues and made him a playoff team because Carson was great. Seattle was irrelevant my entire childhood. Russell Wilson gets there and changes them. Matt Stafford's got the talent, but has never been able to take them on his shoulders. I'm not disputing dysfunction within the organization, but Cincinnati had a lot, and Carson made him a playoff team. And Seattle had a lot, and Russell made him a playoff team. And by the way, Atlanta had a lot, and Matt Ryan's helped him be a playoff team. With my knock on Stafford, yesterday Golden Tate said Stafford's better than Russell Wilson. I'll let you hear the sound on this, and then TJ react. Go ahead.
To me, as of now, where I am today, I think Stafford's been the best quarterback I played with over his career. If you put him in another organization, maybe things are different. I don't know, because I played with some guys over my years that I've won playoff games with that I don't think are as good.
Just a shot at Russell Wilson. What do you make of that? What do you make of that comment?
Well, there could be some history between Golden Tate and Russell Wilson.
I think there is.
That's almost a fact. There's some type of history, some bitterness that they have with each other.
Yes.
But I will say this. For the last couple weeks, I've been out working with my guys, and Stafford has been there. Stafford throws the ball, man, very, very, very well.
That's never been the issue,
He's very accurate. So if you're just talking about a thrower of the football, Golden Tate has a point.
Yes.
If you're talking overall, that's when you say, come on, Tate, you hating, bruh. Because that's what it is. You can't just say Stafford is better than Russell Wilson just off of Russell Wilson's accomplishments. But just a thrower of the football, when we're out there throwing, Stafford throws a pretty ball. It's accurate. It's on time. You're not slowing down. You're not everything is just perfect.
Mel Kiper said years ago that, Stafford's a great guy. He's a great guy, great family. He said that Stafford was so good out of, I think, South Lake High School in Texas that people would have drafted him out of high school and just sat him for 2 years. He was that kind of arm talent. Like, he literally, remember at Georgia, he started as a freshman.
So true. I seen Stafford when he was on his way to Georgia. He was coming out of high school. Nike had flew me out to Beaverton, and I seen Matthew Stafford, and I told him before he went to college, you're going to be the first pick in 3 years. And we talked about that last week.
Yeah.
And he's a great thrower of the football.
He is. But this is what I always say about Aaron Rodgers. Quarterback is beyond that. It's leadership. Tom Brady every offseason learns new music so he relates to his teammates. There's a lot that goes into memorization of playbook, audibling at the line, total commitment physically, kale ice cream. That's what makes Brady great, not his arm strength and his mobility. So I'm with you. I think Russell Wilson has something. Russell Wilson, Steph Curry. He's not cool. Religious, quiet, family. Players are kind of roll their eyes at Steph. They roll their eyes at Russell. Russell doesn't have kind of credibility among players. But there are things called instincts. Like, you just do stuff. Your body does stuff. Russell's instinctually, I've never quite seen anything like him.
See, the thing in sports is this. From any sport, you go basketball, LeBron James, Kawhi Leonard, whoever it is in football. Why did you do that? I don't know. My instinct told me to do it, and that's what makes players better than others is instinctually they do things that aren't taught. They just do them. And you're like, why do you do that? That's why he's a great player, because his instincts are better than yours. And he has that. Some guys never get it. The being a leader thing, some guys are just, Russell Wilson is a natural leader.
Yes.
He just has that in him. Whereas guys like maybe Stafford, you have to learn. That takes a little time. But you look at Russell. He's had one head coach his entire career. Matthew Stafford has had 3. He's had more turnover. Things are a little different. And you would say the 3 coaches Stafford has had, they don't compare to Pete Carroll. And so Russell Wilson has had more stability and more leadership at the top than Stafford has had as well.
I want to move over to the Madden ratings came out, and they rate quarterbacks. First of all, do players care?
Yeah, it matters. I remember one time I got rated and I thought I was low, and I said something in the interview and they changed it. It matters. I used to play Madden all the time.
Well, yeah, players do.
I haven't played Madden in so long, but yeah, it does matter. It's like you really disrespect, because you look at the rankings and you say, oh, he's not better than me, really? And so,
by the way, they have Carson Wentz at 82 and Kirk Cousins at 81.
See, the thing is, though, it's a what have you done for me? Carson Wentz has been hurt, and so it's what have you done for me lately? Aaron Rodgers, look where he's at. What have you done for me lately? You're not taking all those quarterbacks in front of Aaron Rodgers. At least I'm not if I'm a receiver.
If you were a GM today, so you're building for 5 to 7 years, would you take 35-year-old Aaron Rodgers, who's increasingly brittle? Would you take him over Mahomes, Andrew Luck? I wouldn't.
No, not those 2 guys, because he's 35. And
there you go.
They have more of a ceiling.
So put up the 3 guys. I said this morning, if you told me I was GM, here's what and I'm building my franchise, so I have to consider 4 things at quarterback: age, talent, injury history, and leadership. These are the first 3 guys I'd take. Now, Luck, injury worries me, but here's the thing. I know going forward, TJ, they have the best young offensive line and the best tight end group in the NFL, and Frank Reich teaches get rid of the ball fast, so Luck didn't get hit last year. So I feel safe next 5 years with Andrew Luck. I would take Mahomes 1, Russell 2, and Luck 3.
I would put a question mark on Andrew Luck just because of his injuries, but if everybody's healthy, then you're right. Looking at that list, I think they kind of hated on Ben as well. I think Ben should be higher on the Madden ratings as well.
I think
Ben is underrated, man.
Well, he's old.
He has little issues with the leadership, but
yeah, little.
You talk about him playing on the field, he's underrated. He's underrated.
Where do they have him here? They have him in an 85. They have him lower than Matt Ryan. That feels underrated to me.
Big Ben is he's better than that.
Yeah, he is. By the way, sounds crazy. Sometimes I say stuff sounds crazy. But the NFL is not the NBA. In the NBA, there's just certain guys you got to keep. You just do stuff nobody. You can't get rid of Klay Thompson. 6'5", shoots threes. You got to sign him. Take away a handful of quarterbacks. The NFL's always been about sometimes you have to let go of great players because salary cap. We've got a young guy that's 85% of him. Our offense changed with a new system. This tight end doesn't work with this coach. I would consider Zeke now 2 years out is privately telling people I'm going to hold out. 2 years out. Also, I have to deal every offseason with a legal issue. I'd move him.
I would not. The only thing that concerns me is what you said, the legal issue. Like the thing with the security guard, that's not a big deal. That's happened a lot with many of athletes before cameras were everywhere.
Yeah,
I didn't think that was a big deal. You don't know what was said. Dude is making a big deal. He bumps you. Get over. Like, come on, man. He didn't assault you. That does concern me, the off-the-field stuff. Like, once you've been in trouble once or twice, hire security everywhere you go. It's a lot cheaper to hire security than it is to get an attorney. Hire security. You're going to spend more money on an attorney when you get in trouble.
You could get a haul for Zeke.
And so
touchdowns are down.
He's going into his 4th year. Like, he has 4 really, really, really strong years left.
Are we sure?
Yes. You can't practice. You can't hit. You can't go 2-a-days. The game is so different now. Like, the rules of, running backs get old after. The rules are so different now. They get hit in the game, but in practice, there's no contact. You can't practice double days in training camp anymore. It's just so. We did Oklahoma's a 3rd day every year in Cincinnati in training camp. He was like, oh, man, I'm about to get a headache today. You didn't want to do it, but you got to do it. And so it's just so different now. I'm not trading him. If he holds out, he holds out. Now, if he holds out and it becomes a problem and I can get some things for him like the Vikings did for Herschel Walker, hey, then we'll move him. But I'm not looking to trade Ezekiel Elliott.
All right. I just, sometimes I think all things should be considered. Outside of a franchise quarterback, I'm not moving Deshaun Watson. I'm not moving Baker Mayfield in Cleveland. I'm going to sign him for a bunch of contracts.
Last year, what were we talking about?
By the way, Baker's not my cup of tea, but Cleveland should sign him. Huh?
Last year, we were saying if Dak Prescott got $25 million a year, he hit the lottery. The Cowboys would love to pay him $25 million a year right now.
Oh, they die for it.
The longer they wait, the worse it's going to get. They have to, for sure, sign one of those guys to big deals.
Good seeing you.
Thank you. The same.
Joy with the news.
No. Turn on the news. This is the Herdline News.
So the Lakers are coming off a disappointing season, and since they've added another star in Anthony Davis and upgraded their supporting cast, now led by Danny Green, expectations are even higher than they were last year. And GM Rob Pelinka reiterated that by saying, I think we took a lot of what happened last year into account in kind of shaping this roster and shaping our goals for the season. You always have to learn and evolve and adapt as a leader. From the past, for us, anything short of a championship is not success. So we have to learn from last season because we didn't win a championship. You know, I think we do have to give the Lakers front office